How many pins should you be pinning to be successful on Pinterest? How many pins do you actually need to be creating and pinning daily? One question that I get asked a lot is how many pins should be created per day as part of a Pinterest marketing strategy. This is a question that isn't just important for the new Pinterest user, but also for the business who have had success on Pinterest in the past and have seen their growth stagnate or even worse, decrease. My name is Teresa Toledo and I am a Pinterest expert strategist. Today I will be talking about how much and how often you should be pinning on Pinterest to be successful. Now make sure to subscribe and watch until the end to learn how much you should be pinning. The answer to this question has changed over time, but one thing is certain, the old strategy of pinning a lot each day doesn't work anymore. Let's talk about why that is and then dive into what pin numbers look like as a part of a modern successful Pinterest strategy. It is so important to remember that Pinterest is a platform that's constantly evolving and changing to make things better for all pinners, both business accounts and personal accounts. Today, pin numbers aren't really a strategy on their own, but rather a tactic that we should use as a part of a larger Pinterest approach. But this hasn't always been the case. Back in the day, people used to see success pinning many times a day, sometimes as many as 20 times or more. Back then, you could pin and repin freely and see a lot of growth in views and traffic. You could also repin content to as many of 10 or 20 different boards, depending how many group boards you were involved with. But this pinning strategy does not work anymore because the engineering behind of Pinterest as a platform has changed. Once Pinterest was able to better read image content, the platform algorithm realized that a lot of pins were repeat content. Now, instead of unique views per repeated pin, Pinterest essentially bundles repeated content and doesn't consider repeat pins or even when they're pinned using a scheduler such as Tailwind as new pins. Today's Pinterest algorithm reflects what users actually want: fresh and new pin images. Pinterest and its users want to see new and unique content daily. If your pinning strategy involves 70 pins a day, you would have to create 70 new images daily if you want anyone to see more of your work. That's 2,100 new images a month, and even if you didn't manage to create that much content, well, it wouldn't be really that helpful. What works today? Through experimentation with my own account and client accounts, I have found that when you pass a threshold of about 6 to 10 pins a day, your overall results do not really grow much faster. You may get more views, which can be helpful, but just pumping a high volume of content will not give you the results you want to achieve. Think back to that old strategy where people made 70 pins a day, and you will start to realize that modern Pinterest favors quality over quantity. Pinterest wants to see better content. People want to see better content and not just more content. And remember, Pinterest is an ever-evolving platform. The number of pins you need to pin for a successful Pinterest account guidelines are just that, guidelines. You don't need to stick to those numbers. Now, this numerical tactic might not work in 6 months. It's important for businesses to be flexible enough and ready to pivot when their pinning strategies become more effective. Do you want to know how many pins you should pin every day now? Keep watching. Depending on the amount of content you have and how many people you have working with you, there are essentially 3 tiers of Pinterest pinning in my strategy. And this is a tried and tested strategy that's working currently. Now, these numbers are for standard pins, not idea pins. So think of these in terms of teaser images that link back to your website. Tier 1 to 3 new pins a day. Tier 2, 3 to 5 new pins a day. And tier 3, 5 to 10 pins per day. Now we are talking about brand new images. Even if you're just creating 1 pin per day, you are developing a Pinterest presence. Your growth may be slower, but that's okay. Steady organic growth is better for long-term audience conversion. You will be getting people to know you. If you're creating 3 to 5 images a day, you're moving from just having a presence to a growth setting. People are seeing your content. People are getting to know and like you. When you're putting out 3 to 5 pieces of content per day, your audience is getting more familiar with what you have to offer. If you are creating 5 to 10 or maybe even up to 12 pins a day, you're going to be seeing faster growth and increase your brand authority faster. By making your account come to life with more valuable content, people will seek out your account because they know that the content you create and share provides value. With this 3-tier pinning level, you will be tapping into getting people to trust you. In the end, the right number of pins to create per day is a very broad number. Ask yourself one question when choosing a pinning tier for your strategy. How many fresh pins, new images can you create consistently per day without getting overwhelmed or burnout? That will be the number of pins you should be creating per day. Are you ready to go viral on Pinterest? Make sure to subscribe and watch my next video for more Pinterest strategy tips.